So we got this recording, and then let me pull up the PowerPoint here that's going to guide the presentation. Okay, here we go. And so when you hear a nugget, what I found is this, is that my years of experience, those who get the most out of these talks are the ones who engage. Think about the individuals that go to the gym. You have one person that is over in the gym that is moving, panting, sweating, and doing all the work. Then you have person B that's over in the corner socializing, not doing any work. Who is going to get the best results? That's right. Person A, the one who's doing the work. And I know that I'm speaking to a bunch of action takers here tonight that have carved out an hour of their time to learn some valuable things to help improve your overall health and well-being. Tonight, we're going to deliver on tremendous value that if you listen to what I'm saying and you start applying some things, some strategies, tactics, and techniques that I'm giving you to help you outside of the office, to help reduce stress in your body, help your adjustments hold longer, to lead you to better health outcomes, save time, money, and energy in the process, you are going to be very happy. And all the while, avoid taking any unnecessary medications and avoid any unnecessary surgeries. Who's up for that by a show of hands? You're going to have more energy. You're going to have more happiness, more quality of life, doing the things that you want to be doing instead of working around issues in your body. So who here feels like this picture right there? Anybody running on E? Anybody running on fumes? Anybody that's just making it? You're in the right place here. Sleep Issues Workshop, welcome. So my first question to you, are Americans healthy? What do you think? Are Americans healthy? Well, if you want to find out how strong a system is, such as the healthcare system we have in the United States, and the findings are being replicated across multiple countries, across multiple continents around the world, you need to stress the system. And then you start to look at where the system is breaking down. And what we found is that COVID has stressed the system. And this very contagious virus out there is very dangerous to a select group of people. And with all the misinformation that is going on out there, people aren't being taught the truth of what's really going on. People are living in fear and making decisions based off fear. I'm here to bring more clarity, more certainty, and more confidence to your overall health and well-being by improving your sleep patterns and habits so you can keep your immune system strong, keep your body healthy. Whether it's COVID or the next badass virus that's coming to town, your body will be prepared and equipped to handle these things. See, we found that COVID is a very contagious virus, but it's only very dangerous to a select group of individuals. This relates to everything that we're talking about tonight when it comes to sleep issues. Those that have had the biggest reaction, the biggest problems when it comes to COVID are the ones that are living with underlying chronic conditions and comorbidities. And you'll start to find when you start to do the research and see the trail of all this, a lot of these comorbidities have started because of poor lifestyle habits, including poor sleep habits, and how modern stressful living has then shifted our healthy habits to the side, all in response to trying to keep up day to day and just get by. And these are the chronic conditions that are really impacting people's health and determining whether, if you get COVID, what type of symptoms you get, how severe it goes, if you're hospitalized, needing intensive care, or even death. And these comorbidities that I'm talking about are these things like hypertension and diabetes and hyperlipidemia. That is like the high cholesterol and bad fats, coronary artery disease, renal disease, dementia, COPD, cancer, AFib, heart failure. And what we know is this: unhealthy people that are living with any or multiple comorbidities, this is what's known as metabolic syndrome. And what I'm going to teach you about optimizing your sleep here tonight is not only going to help improve the rest and repair and rejuvenation processes in the body, leading to better productivity and energy on the following day, but it's also going to significantly reduce your chances of getting heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and death from viruses like COVID-19. These conditions are increased blood pressure, high blood sugar, excessive fat around the waist. We're going to talk about that later. That's in sarcopenia. This is very dangerous with the excessive fat around the waist. That is loss of muscle mass. And then abnormal cholesterol, triglyceride levels. So what has been a long-term lifestyle chronic disease in the United States and around the world has become an acute crisis overnight. And these underlying problems, because of our lifestyle, that have been pharmacologically managed by the drug companies, never getting you healthier, just managing the symptoms, maybe feeling better, but all the while your body's becoming more unhealthy, there is an acute crisis on our hands. And it's leaving many people in fear these days, not knowing what to do, confused, uncertain on what direction to be taking towards their health and well-being. And then they're relying on information on the outside and for people to tell them what to do instead of understanding how the body actually works and what you can be doing today to help strengthen your body and increase the likelihoods of better health outcomes down the road. So my question is, are we masking the real problem? You see that we have been told that we need to be wearing these masks here, but the problem in wearing these masks to help prevent us from getting sick, here is the problem though. We forgot that we were already sick. If we're not already sick with disease and symptomatic, we're living in an unhealthy way that is building up towards that. We need to remember that we have absolute power and control to help influence our health outcomes and not just be let our genes or just bad luck or things like that determine our health outcomes. So my question to you is, why do you think that we're in a healthcare crisis in the first place? Why do we even have sleep issues? Why is sleep issues so prevalent with Americans and people around the world today? Any ideas? I'd love to see some shares. Because wherever you're at and whatever you think, this can be categorized in a couple different areas. And number one is, who is ultimately responsible for your health? I'm curious. Who is? Is the government responsible for your health? Is it the CDC? Is it the WHO? Is it McDonald's? Is it the pharmaceutical companies? Is it your attorney? Is it your spouse? Who is ultimately responsible for your health? And if you said it's me, you're exactly right. So you are responsible for your health. The next thing is that we're operating off the wrong definition of health. And what this has led us to do is we spend $2.5 trillion a year on our healthcare. That's what our healthcare burden is. And we might as well put healthcare in quotations because we know the trillions of dollars that we're spending on healthcare each year, the burden and the cost of this is bankrupting us as a society, is that this is what our best strategy is with COVID. Stay home and wash your hands. No hugging and high fives, mask up, hope and pray. Then we got a vaccine that is rushed to the market that's coming in to save the day. Are these going to be the long-term solutions? I kind of think WTF, because I know that's what you're thinking, because this is the definition of insanity. And when I say WTF, what I'm referencing is, where is the focus? You see, we've been so focused on the strength of the virus that we forgot about strengthening the host. That's you. So my question is, over the last year, what have you been doing to help strengthen your body? What have you been doing to help improve your health outcomes? Now, many of you I know personally, we have some guests that are on here and other family members joining you, watching this. You're going to end up watching the replay. But I want you to be thinking about over the last year, how have you been improving your health? Because tonight is about third-tier healthcare. This is what I'm going to be focusing on. You see, the first tier of healthcare is the treatment of disease. The goal here is simple. keep people from dying. The next is prevention of disease. This would be no hugs or high fives, hand washing, social distancing, masking up, and things like that. And although the treatment of disease to keep people from dying and the prevention of disease are very appropriate in a particular situation, neither of these do anything to strengthen the health of the body. And that's where I want to be spending the remainder of our time talking about third tier healthcare. Is that what can you do? What can I do to help you? How can we team together to help promote health, promote strength, promote vitality and energy, better sleep patterns, better health outcomes within your life, within your family's life, and those that you care about? So we're going to dive into some sleep issues. Things like sleep apnea. We're going to be talking about thoracic outlet syndrome, and then restless leg syndrome. So the sleep apnea, as you know, that's where the breathing and night and sleep, the snoring all come in, not getting enough oxygen. Thoracic outlet is the pins and needles in the fingers. The restless legs are the legs keep moving. They can't get comfortable. And we're going to talk about why that is. And then more importantly, you are going to create a start doing and a stop doing list tonight. And you're going to look at the things and listen to the things that I'm presenting to you and look at where are the gaps, where are the holes within your lifestyle, and look at one area that you can start improving. Tonight is all about progress, not perfection. I don't want you walking away deflated, thinking like, oh my gosh, Dr. B, I might as well just give up, because there's no way that my busy lifestyle is going to sync with what you're telling me to do. That's okay. What I want you to be thinking about is hitting singles, not home runs. What's something that you can start doing or stop doing that's going to get you on base? And then every day, I just want you to start thinking about hitting some singles. And if you hit singles every day consistently for your health and well-being, you're going to find that over weeks, months, and years, you're going to have massive results and outcomes. So don't be thinking about that you need to hit a home run every single day. Think about hitting a single every single day to build health and wellness on the inside and offset the modern lifestyle stress. Because as we're talking about sleep issues here, I want to let you know that every single symptom that comes with sleep is a signal from your intelligent body. It is an underlying condition. There's an underlying condition causing that symptom. And body signals are another word that we term for symptoms. Those are some symptoms in the body. We must ask, what is your body asking you to start doing? What is your body asking you to stop doing? And if you can listen to the whispers of your body, you can avoid hearing the screams. The question is, are you slowing down before speeding up? Are you listening? Are you in tune with your body? Are you paying attention to what's going on the outside of your office visits here? Because PAIN is an acronym for pay attention inside now. At the top of above the water is the tip of the iceberg. That is the symptom that you're experiencing in your body when it comes to sleep or any other issue you may have. Below the water is the underlying cause. And tonight I'm going to help reveal what the underlying causes of your sleep issues are, and more importantly, what you can start doing about it. Because this is what symptoms are really telling you about your health. This is what it's really saying to you, I want you to take a look at this illness wellness continuum. And I want you to put yourself somewhere on this continuum. The neutral point is 0. To the far left of the screen is premature death, expiring before you're ready to. You know, genetics today, the leading research and scientists say that our bodies are equipped to live to be 120. Now, many of you here may not want to live to be 120. And if I were to ask you why, is you don't want to have a decreased quality of life. You know people that have aged and are aging and may not be doing it in a graceful way. You know, many of you have people in your life or have experienced it at the end of their life where they didn't have a quality of life. So there's this fear about it. But regardless of how long you're going to be living, what I want you to be thinking about is for the years that God is blessing you with, be thinking about having quality years and doing the things that you can, investing in your health today to produce better health outcomes tomorrow. And all the way on the right side, high level health and wellness, that's a plus 10. So you got -10, 0, plus 10. I want you to go ahead and in your mind, place yourself where you currently are at March 18th, 2021, or whenever you're watching this replay or this webinar. Where are you at on that -10 to +10? Then I want you to also look at what direction you're going. Are you moving towards high level health and wellness? Or are you losing some traction, taking one step forward, 3 steps back, and moving more towards signs, symptoms, and disability? Because I'm going to teach you the difference between a sign and a symptom. Do you know what's the difference between a sign and a symptom? A sign is something that is measurable. So for instance, if you're dealing with some decreased range of motion in your neck, you may not be able to turn as far as what you once did. That is a sign. It doesn't mean you're going to have pain. The pain would be the symptom. What comes first, the sign or the symptom? The sign, the dysfunction always comes first. Eventually, you're going to get a symptom if you don't deal with the underlying issue. So symptoms are often the end result of an underlying chronic condition, not the beginning of it. That's important to know. Then if we don't take care of that symptom, then we start to become disabled. We have a disability. We start working around the problem. We stop engaging in things that we enjoy doing, what we love to do. We start to put it up on the shelf and then say, that's not for me. And then all of a sudden, our quality of life starts diminishing. Oh, because I turned 30, this is why I have XYZ condition. And then your 40s hit. And then just like that, you get a new set of conditions. And it's really weird, like clockwork. You hit 50, you hit 60, 70, 80, and so on and so forth. And you get a new set of challenges. On the other side of this is high-level health and wellness. And my job is to help bring awareness. Doctor means teacher. So this is about education. This is about helping you expand your knowledge, your tool set when it comes to health and wellness so that you can live the life that you want to be doing. Have the quality of life. Spend it with those that you love. And you're both, everybody is healthy, continuing to do the things that you want to be doing. So I want you to be paying attention to your symptoms because the things that I'm going to tell you to do outside of the office, I want you to see how your body responds to doing these things and improving your overall health and well-being. Not just feeling better, but functioning better, having more energy, having more endurance, more strength, things like that. Because as I mentioned, is that one of the reasons we're in this healthcare crisis is the wrong definition of health, because you may think that you feel fine, but there's underlying health conditions underneath. So just because you feel good doesn't mean you're healthy. How many of us have been there or know somebody that you felt good, you go into the doctor and you get a report that is not so good? So symptoms are often the end result of the underlying problem, but not the first sign. So a lot of people think that it's sick and healthy. We toggle between this. I'm either healthy or I'm sick. And it just, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm healthy. And then on Saturday, I'm sick. Then Sunday, I'm sick. Monday, I'm sick. Then come Tuesday, the switch is back on, I'm healthy. That's not telling the whole story. Just because you feel good doesn't mean you're healthy. More likely, you're toggling between sick and not sick. Few people achieve optimal health, high-level health and wellness. Most people today are toggling in the modern stressful lifestyle of toggling between sick and not sick, symptom, no symptom. And there's a big difference between being at your healthiest point and optimal health outcomes and not being sick or no symptoms. There's a big difference there. This is where the immunocompromised live. This is that group of individuals when it comes to COVID specifically, COVID being most dangerous to are the immunocompromised. So when you're not sleeping well and it's leading to more inflammation and more chronic conditions like high blood pressure, high blood sugar, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's, arthritis. That is all the big category of being immunocompromised. Your body is more vulnerable. I want to teach you what you can do to get out of the fear and start moving into some confidence to build your health and build strength within. So there's got to be a better way. Our premise in the office is that healthy is normal, sick is abnormal, but sick, unfortunately, has become the new norm. Your body is smart, it's intelligent, it's not stupid. It's designed to be healthy. Your genes are equipped for health. And your nervous system is the master control system in your body. Your nervous system is the filter for all the stress that you go through physically, nutritionally, mentally, emotionally. It is your nervous system that controls hormones, every organ system, cell, tissue in your body. It's your spine that's your suit of armor that protects those delicate nerves. And modern life is unnaturally stressful. And by a show of hands, over the past year, is your life more stressful or more stressful? Modern life was already stressful. COVID just added a whole nother layer of this stress that is unnatural to our body, that has a direct impact on the quality of sleep. Our lifestyle is unnatural. Unfortunately, we're not exercising like our hunter-gatherer ancestors exercised. And why do I bring up our hunter-gatherer ancestors? It's because we have inherited our hunter-gatherer ancestors' genes. For many, people have been misled to say that the problems of chronic lifestyle disease today is a genetic problem. That's not true. It's a lifestyle problem. We put healthy individuals in a sick environment, and certain genes get turned on and get turned off. And we're not moving the way that we're moving. We pretty much engineered movement out of our lifestyle. Today, you can have food delivered to your house. They got all these food delivery systems that make it super easy and convenient. You just order it off your phone. You don't have to go to the stores anymore. You just order it off the phone. You just got to get off the couch to get to the front door to get your food or whatever you order today. We're sitting more, we're hiding more behind the screens. And think about COVID, it was already bad before, but how lifestyle has changed and has impacted, it's causing us to be living unhealthier in many ways. And then the foods that we're eating, many processed, high sugar, filled with bad fats, the carb loading, the things that promote inflammation. And then our mind, I already talked about fear. The virus of fear in your mind is the most dangerous virus, in my opinion, out there. And then if you let this virus of fear take over, it is going to cause you to make decisions about your health that is going to drive you away from things that build health and move you into scare tactics to do certain things that you may not know will have a negative impact on your overall health. The pharmaceutical industry have been making a lot of money over years and decades of prescribing and selling drugs to treat symptoms, not fix underlying root problems, and making a lot of money off of this while people stay sick and unhealthy. So this stress has a real consequence. And for us, many of us know that there are three types of stress. There's the traumas, there's the toxins, there's the thoughts. The traumas could be car accidents, slips and falls, sports injuries, being born. How many people here were born? The birth trauma is often the first trauma that our body goes through. But the micro traumas today of excessive sitting and screen time, and we're going to talk about how that disrupts sleep. Then that'll start to lead into the stress of the toxins of eating the wrong foods at the wrong time, and just continue to load our body with more pro-inflammatory foods where we're deficient in the nutrients that are required to help our body achieve high-level sleep, so we get high-level repair and rest and recovery, leading to better energy and production. And then our thought life is very stressful. It's toxic, filled with fear, anxiety, worry, uncertainty, chaos. And all this is driving us to lead to health habits that distract us, that sedate us, that move us away from high level health and wellness. Do you see? Can you start to see the big picture of how this is a crisis that will compound over days, weeks, months, years, and then start to cause downstream impacts and effects on your overall well being? You see, we're going to get into this because this stress has a direct impact on how certain hormones are released or not released. And there are these circadian rhythms within your body. There are a multitude of specialists across the health field, the mathematical field, and all across the biology and that have studied the genetics behind this and recognized and come up with a map of how certain hormones and certain behaviors and activities of the body happen. And when they don't happen in rhythm and they get disrupted, that start to lead us towards more disease and illness, more symptoms and disability and dysfunction, and take us away from health. But we also found that if we start to live a lifestyle that is more congruent to high level health and wellness, we can start to exhibit more health, more energy, more vitality, better recovery, better rest, more happiness, a better mood, more joy. You see, the big part of this is the sun, when we eat and when we sleep. I want you to be thinking about tonight when I talk to you about this is about sunlight. I want you to be thinking about when you eat. Not so much we're going to get into the what you are eating. We'll save that conversation for another day. But I want you to be thinking about when you're eating. And then I want you to be thinking about when you're exercising and then the sleep. Because one thing sets off a trigger and a ripple effect into the body that will impact. There's this gland called the pineal gland. Raise your hand if you've heard this before. It's deep within the brain. And the pineal gland and the SCN, which is your suprachiasmatic nucleus that is deep within the brain, that receives signals from light out there, like actual light from the sun, natural light, and then artificial light. And I want you to be thinking about that light in general, natural and artificial, and how this can trigger different things. But it sets off the pineal gland, which then will set a cascade of events to then either upregulate cortisol as your body is waking up. That's that stress hormone, which is natural at certain times and unnatural at other times, and will determine when also melatonin will be released in your body. That will be the onset or the start of getting your body ready for sleep. And with your food, your activity, your body temperature, this is going to impact optimal times within the 24-hour cycle for your optimal health and well-being. So let's dive into this a little bit more, because one of your takeaways that I'm going to encourage you to do is get very familiar with this chart here and use it as a tool, use it as a guide. Now, for my analyticals that are out here and they're looking at this clock, I do not want you to get overwhelmed. I want you to be thinking high level on the concepts and take a look at where you're at in your lifestyle today and look at what your optimal rhythms are in your body. Become aware of where the gaps are. And then I want you to start taking one step at a time to close those gaps. So progress, not perfection. Anything that you start doing to close the gap to lead to more high-level wellness is going to improve your health overall. So we're going to start at the 6 a.m. So look at to the far right, 6 a.m. So what happens at 6:45 is that you're going to experience the sharpest rise in blood pressure. Your body's waking up. Then at 7:30, melatonin secretion stops. This is what we would be expecting in optimal function. Melatonin is the hormone that prepares you for sleep. Then you start waking up at 10 o'clock, you're going to be at your highest alertness. Then at 2:30 is where your best coordination is going to be. 3:30 is your fastest reaction time. 5 o'clock is going to be your greatest cardiovascular efficiency and muscle strength. 6:30 is going to be your highest blood pressure. 7 is going to be your highest body temperature. At 9 o'clock, what we would expect is that melatonin starts to be secreted, and that's where it starts to wind the body down to prepare you for deep sleep. Then you take a look at 2 a.m. About 5 hours into sleep is your deepest sleep, of where the maximum repair and recovery processes until you wake up happen. 4:30 is your lowest body temperature. And your body goes through the rhythm of this. And modern lifestyle destroys this rhythm. Some of you are shift workers. You might work 3 to 11. You might work the graveyard shift. You might have worked that in a past life. You might have other family members as a parent, young kids waking up in the middle of the night. Your job may require you different rhythms in right here. Right now, I just want you to be aware and just recognize there's certain rhythms in the body. And I know many of you try to eat the right things, you try to exercise the right way, but yet you're not achieving the results that you would expect, such as weight loss, things like that. Could you imagine that if you just started becoming more congruent and following a schedule like this, that you could start losing some weight, that your inflammatory levels will go down in your body, and when inflammation goes down, pain goes down? Can you imagine that your energy levels go up through the day without needing to rely on 2 pots of coffee, 3 Red Bulls, and 2 Monster drinks, all that caffeine? So these rhythms are set in the body, and we just went through daylight savings time, and we just shifted a whole hour. So if you're wondering why your body is responding or reacting in certain ways, which we've seen over this past week, it could simply be just a shift in an hour when you're in rhythm doing certain things. That would be enough to cause some chaos within the body to start causing some body signals and wake you up to this. So the natural cortisol cycle, cortisol is that stress hormone that we've all heard about that causes increased inflammation. It causes high blood pressure. It causes heart disease and stroke. It causes type 2 diabetes. In a normal, healthy, functioning body, in the morning at 6 a.m., you're going to have a rise of the cortisol because it's going to wake you up. And think about like the farmers that wake up when the sun comes up, and they go to bed when the sun goes down. Those are the natural rhythms of the body. And being at the latitude that we live in Northern Virginia, we have seasons so that the winter has the shortest daylight, moving into spring and then summer, which is going to have the most daylight. And then our lifestyle doesn't allow us to adjust for these changes, and it causes chaos within the body that starts to impact and cause interference and more stress to these natural, normal cycles that happen. So we expect as the daylight and the day goes at 6 p.m., the cortisol should drop, and it gets at a lowest during our deepest sleep at night. And then as we're coming out of our sleep, it'll start to rise, and that's the rhythm. But my question to you is, what's the problem with our unnaturally stressful lifestyle? Instead of doing this, anybody have an idea of what the cortisol levels do? Now, if there's any of you that are taking your finger and going like this, or you're going and spiking it way up higher, you would be correct. The cortisol levels for many do not drop. They continue to stay at a very high level, which our body is sensing fight or flight, which then is shifting our natural normal cycles when it comes to sleep, which could cause you to have trouble getting to sleep. It could cause trouble of you staying asleep, or it could cause you to wake up early and not completing a full night's rest, where you get enough sleep, 4 to 5 hours, to make up for the sleep debt you had, but not enough to help you get any gains. What will happen chronically with elevated cortisol is that it causes a lot of downstream chronic diseases of lifestyle, which in our healthcare system, or let's call it what it is, our sick care system in the US, treats with drugs and manages with drugs for a lifetime. And we know those drugs, although they might do what they're intended to do, is manipulate a number and keep it within a specific range, but not look to the root cause of why that number is not in range, does nothing long-term to help improve your health or fix the underlying root cause. In fact, over time, what tends to happen is you need more drugs, higher doses of drugs, to keep up with the decline of your body. And this is because we are not exerting our bodies physically throughout the day like we should. We're not getting the exercise like we need. We are chronically stressed mentally, socially, and psychologically. Hands up if you get that one. Because over this past year, in my 15 years of clinical experience, I have not seen as much stress. And there was already a lot of stress in people's lives before. But it's like somebody just poured gasoline on this fire and people are more stressed than ever before. People are living in more fear than ever before. People are socially distancing, which is causing isolation. It's leading to more depressive type feelings, more anxiety, and more people are committing suicide these days because of that loneliness and isolation. I get it. We can debate about the whole social distancing and the 6 feet. I have a strong argument on one side that shows no absolute good science or research saying that has any validity. But anyways, that's a discussion for another time. But I'm all for if you decide that 6 feet and that's what you decide to do, I get that. I think it's spatially distancing, but not socially distancing. Many people, it's been a whole year since they've been around anybody, any of their loved ones or anybody that they care about. And hearing these stories is just heart-wrenching. But that stress has real consequences that can lead to sleep issues. And then it's a self-compounding feedback loop where then all this stress is disrupting our natural sleep cycles, which then it's not getting any better. The stress is piling. And what do we talk about? If you want to know how strong your body is, if you want to know how strong your health is, stress it and see what happens. People are coming to me with new symptoms, symptoms they never had before, and it all can be related to chronic stress, which is pushing their cortisol levels to new levels, and their body is setting off an alarm system that's leading to these symptoms. Sleep deprivation will cause cortisol cycles to be unrhythmic. It's unnatural. And then melatonin gets downregulated. And remember, melatonin is that hormone that needs to be released starting around 9 o'clock to get your body prepared for great sleep. And then insulin sensitivity is downregulated. This is why the gremlin in your mind that tells you to go to your pantry, who knows who thinks that it's a good idea to go to the pantry, get out the Girl Scout cookies, take a sleeve of them and down them right before you go to bed, get out the cereal, and for some reason, it seems to be having a whole box before you go to bed is a good idea. Who goes that's trying to do the right thing of the bowl of the potato chips, and then you put the bowl in the pantry and you take the whole bag? All right, I'm laughing at this because I'm telling you is that I'm not preaching because I'm perfect. I'm sharing scar tissue in my own life that I had to make some very important decisions for my own well-being, because it happened twice during this past year where I was stress eating and mindlessly eating and eating late in the night. And with all this stress, it was affecting my sleep cycles because I'd eat all this sugar. And with the cortisol being so high, my insulin sensitivity went through the roof and my sleep cycles were off. And I put on an excess of 20 pounds. So since January, the end of January, I'm telling you, my personal experience is I'm at what I feel my most energetic, my most healthy state here as I'm 41, and I've become 21 and a half pounds healthier since January 25th. And if I can do these things, I know you can. And it's not about the number, and I'm not saying anything to impress. I'm just sharing with you there's a possibility here, is to come to terms with lifestyle habits that you already know that are unhealthy, and then hopefully receive some inspiration here. And I know there's a voice on the inside that is guiding and already telling you intuitively what to do. I may just be here just to reaffirm that for you. But I want you to be thinking about that lifestyle change that you know that you're ready to make. And I'm going to be here. The team is going to be here to help support you. And with unnatural lighting, then what ends up happening is the leptin goes down. The leptin, when it goes down, means that we're full. But when it gets disrupted because we're under unnatural lighting for so long throughout the day, our appetite at night goes up. The ghrelin that is there to suppress the appetite is then it goes up. So we think that we're hungry. So we reach for the sugary, the high carb things, and that just disrupts the insulin and our ability to get that in to burn it off. And insulin, I want you to be thinking fat storage hormone. Insulin is fat storage hormone. So when you dump in a bunch of sugar at the end of the day, it spikes your blood sugar, it disrupts melatonin, your stress levels stay up, and fat gets stored in the body. This is the belly fat. People, we need to come to terms on where we're at in this moment by looking at facts, not stories, and getting real about where your health is at. And I know it can get a little scary of looking at the facts, but the facts are going to set you free. Hiding, running, pretending, telling yourself stories that are not true about your health and where you're at, that is not going to help you get to where you want to go. So I just want you to take a moment. I want you to go around your belly, around your waist, and just get to know your midsection. Where are you at? Where are you at? Because when we are stressed, when cortisol is high, from an evolutionary and a genetic and survival standpoint, we are designed to put belly fat here because our body is in a stress mode, thinking that we're going to go into famine and not have any food. So this is smart. If we actually went into famine, then we would just use this excess belly fat for energy source when we didn't have food. The problem is that we have food all around us these days. And so it gets stored here. And this is the most dangerous fat because this is increased inflammation that leads to high blood pressure, high blood sugar, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, stroke, cancer, Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is nothing more than type 3 diabetes, arthritis, inflammation, pain, immunocompromise. So people and we're going to get into some lifestyle recommendations of what to do about this, because as many of you that are excited about burpees and strict dieting to get rid of this belly fat, let's get the sleep cycles in check. Let's get better rhythms with our sleep. Let's get better rhythms with the circadian rhythm as best we can in the lifestyle we're living right now. Close the gap, reduce the stress, and bring more health and healing to the body. Who's up for that? I get this question, Doc, what about my sleep meds? Can I take my sleep meds? Are sleep meds okay? My question to you, if you're asking this question, want to know about any medication that you're taking, what is your goal? I can give you my opinion of what I think you should do, but I want to know what your goal is. That's what matters to me and how I answer this question or any question anybody asks me about medication. What's your goal? If your goal is to get to sleep, if your goal is to stay asleep, my understanding is that there are sleep medications out there that can get you to sleep and keep you asleep. If that is your goal, if your goal is not to figure out the underlying root problem, if your goal is to mask it just so you get the effect of what the medication might offer, then I could say that could hit your goal. But I'm going to tell you that the research, and you may not read this on the box, but sleep medications have never, ever been tested for continuous use more than 6 months. But does anybody ever say anything about that? So what are the dangers? So I looked up the side effects of sleep meds, because I have people that come to me that want help with a particular body signal or symptom that is the effect of a medication that they might be taking. Now, the good news is, my experience of 15 years, if people come in to see me, that they start getting adjusted in rhythm, they start breaking bad habits and do the things I tell them to start doing and do the things I tell them to stop doing, they get healthier over time. And I'm happy to say that my clients over time are under less medication. How cool is that? I'm hoping that you, if we're not there yet, keep going. But here are some of the side effects of sleep meds: dizziness, lightheadedness, headache, GI problems, prolonged daytime drowsiness, severe allergic reaction, daytime memory and performance problems. And for me, I want to get to the root of the problem. So a safer approach would be is first trying a high quality melatonin supplement. So if you're having trouble getting to sleep and staying asleep, you could help prime the melatonin release at the end of the day. And you want to start between, if you're very sensitive to supplementation or anything in your body, you would start at 1 milligram, and then you could work up to 5 milligrams and just see where your body is at. You're going to need to try these things and find out what's best for you. I know many of you want me to tell you exactly what is best for you, but you're going to need to fine tune it and a little bit more, a little bit less to find out what's best for you and listen to your body signals to help guide you. So here's my recommendations to sleep better in 21 days. Here are the best practices. Number one, get familiar with the circadian rhythm and use this as a guide. Find out when you're getting up, find out when you're going to bed, find out when you're eating, find out when you're working out, and map it out right through here. Get familiar with this rhythm. So for me, I'm just going to share my experience is I'm in the 5 a.m. club. Okay, I wake up at 5 a.m. My body's in tune with that. That works for me. The reason I wake up at 5 a.m. is to prepare and ready myself for the day. I want to be showing up as the best doctor that I can be for each and every one of you. I want to show up as the best husband for my wife. I want to show up as the best father for my 2 kids, Cleast and Kyson. I want to show up as the best leader that I can for my team, so on and so forth. So I spend the first hour of my day doing some meditation, doing some journaling, doing some exercise, taking my supplementation, my green drink, that making some love note deposit, sending a note of encouragement to my wife, writing a note of encouragement and love to my kids. I'm not perfect with these things, but I do my best to prepare my body, prepare my mindset to take on the day. So 5 a.m., I'm up because I know from 5 to 6, my house is still sleeping. And around 6, 6:30, the house starts waking up. So I want to make sure that I'm at my best because once everybody wakes up, it's full on. Then as I go through this cycle right here, I do my best to get to bed at 10 o'clock. I'm not perfect with this, but 10 o'clock is when I try to call it. Get familiar with this. I'm going through some time restricted eating, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. But find out what rhythm starts for you. Know these are the best rhythms of your body. And I totally get it if currently where you're at in your lifestyle doesn't meet this. But I just want you to be aware of where you're at, what your body requires, and what you can start doing. Don't focus on what you can't do. Focus on what you can start doing here that I teach you to help build better health and wellness. So for hours of sleep, this is a common question I get. It is 7 hours of sleep, uninterrupted sleep for adults, 9 hours for kids. What I want you to factor in for adults, put 8 hours because there's some prep time for bed. There's going to be some time laying there, you're winding down, things like that. And for the kids, 10 hours, allocate that, factor it in. Don't cut it so tight where it's 7 hours, but it takes an hour or so to get to sleep. And then now all of a sudden you're only getting sleep for 6. There's different, I'm not a proponent of any specific one, but like Fitbits and Apple Watches, I think Garmin out there, there's many smart technology that can track your hours and kind of give you some feedback of how great your sleep or it isn't, and track your rhythms with this. More importantly, I want you, as I'm talking about this, I want you to be thinking about the rhythm. I just want your days to be starting and ending. I want your eating periods. I want your exercise to be rhythmic at the same time every single day. I was just talking to people is that, Monday to Friday, you have one schedule, and then on the weekend, you have another schedule. I'm going to have you consider that that is very disruptive to the functions of the body. And whatever time you're waking up throughout the week, wake up that time on the weekend. And if you're needing to sleep in later, that means the sleep that you're accumulating throughout the week is in excess, causing you to change your rhythms throughout the weekend. Then come Monday, it's back on that 5-day schedule. Try to keep things consistent across the board. You're going to find out consistency is a big theme in what the research is showing in the circadian code and when it comes to your health habits. The next thing is with this daylight and natural light. What I recommend is as soon as you can, when daylight starts, and I know it's getting better. I know one of the main issues that people run into is the increased darkness throughout the winter months. So we're coming out of it. The days are starting to get a little bit longer, but get yourself outside as soon as possible in the morning, even if it's just 5 minutes. Go for a little walk, little jog, something that's just very light. Get out, find some sort of activity that you need to do outside, add some bird feed to the bird feeder, whatever you need to do to get outside. Get that bright light coming in through the retinas here, that natural light to send the signals into the brain to wake up the brain, bring down that melatonin, which is going to promote more sleep or sleepiness and drowsiness, and then spike up the cortisol to increase your awareness, your alertness. The next thing is TRE. This stands for time-resisted eating. And what we're talking here, you might know it as intermittent fasting. But I want you to then start tracking the first bite you take in the morning when you break your fast. That's where breakfast comes from, where you break your fast. So I want you to be thinking about when you're breaking your fast. That could even include coffee. That could include tea, even if it's just black. When are you breaking your fast? And I want you to see when is your last bite of food or drink that you take at the end of the day. And water does not count. So when that is, many people are in like the 16-hour range or even more. I want you to consider tightening up that window. And what I'd like to get to is at 12, that could be your first step. Women, I'd like to see you in the 10-hour range, and then men in the 8-hour range. And I don't want you to think about doing any of these things overnight. Just start progressing and moving towards that. If you're only getting 5 hours of sleep a night, if you started to get 5.5 and 6, are you going to be healthier or sicker because of that? You're going to be healthier. If the time restricted eating, you're at 16 hours and you move to 14, are you going to be healthier or sicker because of it? You're going to be healthier. So make steps moving towards the optimal. Next is about moving. And yes, Beatrice, you asked a question about this, is how much movement do you need? Do not underestimate walking and how great walking is for you. So where I want you to start working towards at a minimum would be 6 30-minute walks per week. Getting outside, getting in nature, as long as it's not, there's no threat of like tornado or any of that inclement weather, get out. It's okay to go walk in the rain. That's why we made umbrellas or rain jackets. Get outside, get in that natural light, that sunshine. Let the sun get into the eyes and help wake the body up. So much goodness we're going to come because of this right here. Then we can be talking about moving, sweating, panting, and that exercise right there. But through the day, you could do some HIIT exercise, high intensity interval training. I mean, I have an app on my phone that takes me through a 7-minute workout where I do 12 specific exercises, 30 seconds on, 10 seconds of rest. I repeat it like that. I get my heart rate up, I sweat. That can help then offset some of the stress in the body and prepare us to get better sleep. EFAST. EFAST is shut down your phone, shut down your TV, shut down your laptop, shut down your tablet. No screen time, minimum of hour, preferably 2 hours before bed. When we're addicted to our phone, as they say, sitting is the new smoking, screens are the new crack. When we're addicted to our phone, that blue light spikes our cortisol, it decreases our melatonin, it downregulates our insulin sensitivity. All of a sudden, then we start having these outrageous carb cravings. We start going to the pantry for those Girl Scout cookies, those chips, those chocolates, those candies, or whatever, the cereal. And all of a sudden, this becomes a feedback loop. And the next thing you know, we find that fat that's around our waist starting to grow. And then one day we just wake up and it's like, how did that happen? So we need to start e-fasting. So take an electronic fast before bed. This will help decrease your cortisol levels and then promote your melatonin, get you ready for more sleep. Plus, you stop watching the news, you stop watching social media, you get away from all those stressful things that is causing more disruption in your health and well-being. You'll thank me later. You want to reduce your alcohol, preferably just cut the alcohol from the lifestyle. But if you still want to get some alcohol in, you want to have it just before dinner or with dinner at 5. I would say no later than 5. If you're going to eat later, then I guess you could have that glass of wine before you eat. But the later you have this, the more disruption it's going to cause within your sleep cycles. And it's going to lead to more dehydration and things like that. And then the caffeine, you want to stop any caffeine consumption by noon. So if you're going to have your coffee or second cup in the morning, make sure you get that done by noon, but nothing afternoon. That'll disrupt your sleep. When you're going to sleep and you're having some trouble like slowing down and getting your mind to calm down, you could be revved up from the day. And so what I recommend is 4-7-8 breathing, where you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold it for 7, and you exhale for 8. Do that 6 times while you're laying in bed. And this is going to shift your body from a fight or flight stress response and get you into more of the parasympathetic rest and repair response. When it comes to your bedroom, I want you to think of designing it as your sanctuary, is where it is the only place that you're going to go sleep. And then it's only for sleep. okay? Where it's dark, it's quiet, it's comfortable. And don't turn it into another living room where you're laying in bed, pillows propped up, causing stress on your neck and your spine, staring at your TV screen and staring at your cell phone screen all at the same time. Raise your hand who's guilty on that. We got so much screen going on. There's an iPad off to the side where we got all this going on, this technology. We got the blue light, we got artificial light, we got all this stimulation that's going on, and then we wonder why we can't sleep. Start making changes, create a sanctuary that this is your place to go to rest, repair, rejuvenate. And then think about educating your household. Make this a household culture. This is for long-term sustainable success. If you have your spouse or partner that shares the bedroom with you on this call, you both start working together and find out what you can start. What is the plan of action for you both? If the other person is not, share this presentation with them. They'll get a better understanding so you can go on this supportive. There's nothing worse where you're trying to go in one direction and somebody is trying to go to the other direction, and there's this friction when it comes to then trying to implement some of these habits. What I want you to do is focus on what is the one nugget, what is the one step, what is the one thing that you can start doing or stop doing to improve your health. And if you hit that and you know what that is, type it up in the chat box, share it with others, let them see what you're committing to. Because by you having the courage to share something here tonight, either a nugget, a takeaway, what you're going to start doing to improve your health, you're going to help others, inspire others. And when we say teamwork makes the dream work. So study the rhythm and understand your body. When it comes to sleep, you want to give your body at least 2 to 4 hours, 2 on the minimum, 4 hours on the maximum before you put your head on the pillow of when you stop eating. So you don't want to be eating right up until bed. So if your goal is 10, minimum, you want to be done and start your fasting at 8 p.m. and then work your way backwards. If you're doing some very strenuous exercise, such as like CrossFit, functional exercise, then between like the 2:30 and 5 o'clock time frame is great time to be doing strength training. Look, folks, this is not going to be a perfect rhythm. This is not going to be perfect. So you got to pick and choose and find what is the one thing you can do to start making your rhythms more consistent in your body. Not focusing necessarily on what you're eating, although that is highly important, but focusing more on what to be eating, or excuse me, when to be eating, and keep it consistent. Just like your sleep-wake cycles. I had a question that come in from Susan, and Susan, what I wanted to answer for you was, is it okay to have nuts at night? Okay, when we're taking a look at having maybe something that's higher in protein or having something within some healthy fats, better than having some fruit or some sugar. And my answer to you is yes, you can have some. And specifically the ones that I would recommend, I want you to try and see how your body responds to them. Almonds, Brazil nuts, chestnuts, hazelnuts, macadamia nuts, walnuts, pistachios, pine nuts, and pecans. Those are all really good. And what I would start with is I would just start with a handful. You don't need to have many. They're going to provide some energy, but they're going to be a healthy snack at the end of the evening. And what I want you to do is just see how your body responds to that. See if it's disrupting any of your sleep. I wouldn't expect it to. If you do have weight loss goals, we want to talk about that because there might be a better time to put those nuts into the rhythm of your schedule rather than at the end of the day. But if you're looking for a healthy snack at the end of the day, just to kind of something after dinner to have with your tea, that would be okay. All right. Strive for progress, not perfection. So let's talk about some of these sleep issues here and how what we just talked about can relate here. Sleep apnea, thoracic outlet, restless leg syndrome. So I think we're all pretty aware of this. If you're not, your nervous system is the master system within the body. Your brain sends signals down your spine, and all these nerves go out to every organ, tissue, and cell. Your nervous system is the master system to process the stress that you're under. And this directly relates to then your cortisol levels, your hormonal release within your body. And this is why we have such great success through chiropractic care and teaching people about healthy living, of how to achieve high level health and wellness with their chiropractic care and living healthy lifestyles. The big idea is that when the stress becomes overwhelming to our body, when modern life stress becomes overwhelming, it causes a condition in the body, subluxation. Subluxation is a misaligned joint that causes nerve interference and nerve stress. This increases cortisol levels. It increases the stress response in your body, leading to more inflammation and ultimately compromising your immune system. That's why getting adjusted is so powerful, to help not only with the pain levels within your body, but help with your sleep cycles and help you achieve the best sleep you've ever had. So cortisol, that is a stress hormone that downregulates the melatonin, increases blood pressure, downregulates insulin sensitivity. And I highlighted this. It weakens connective tissue, which is going to make it easier for your suit of armor or your spine to get out of alignment when there's an increase of cortisol. It downregulates your immune system, leaving you more susceptible to viruses and other microbes. And then it causes inflammation and swelling. So when you're not sleeping well, your inflammation is going to go up. When your inflammation goes up, your pain goes up. So sleep apnea, this is a condition where you have restricted airways and you're not getting the oxygen into your body like you need. Is oxygen pretty important to your health? Yeah, I think we all learned that, with COVID and everything like that. But for your overall health, sleep, oxygen is important. And when there's restriction, it's going to impact blood flow, oxygen getting to vital organs, including brain, heart, things like that. So what we've found during our evaluation and examination, this is twofold. There is a structural component of this. You see where this gentleman, it has his head thrust forward. Well, he's losing his optimal curve in the neck. So this already is accentuating a problem that many people face this day and age, forward head posture with the electronics. When you sleep and your head is pushed forward, that restricts airways here, okay, with your nasal passage and your trachea and your throat. So there's a structural component to this, but then there's a chemical, because when you're eating the wrong foods, when your body is inflamed, you're drinking the wrong things, it swells the tissue. When you're not sleeping well, see how this is a compounding problem, because when you're not sleeping well, the cortisol levels go up and inflammation goes up in your body. So from the foods that we're eating, the type of foods that we're eating, the more pro-inflammatory things like processed sugars and wheat and dairy and soy and corn, these have an inflammatory chemical reaction in the body that then restricts the airways, cause more mucus production, and it will impact the way oxygen's getting in your body. So there is not only a structural component that we need to work on in our office, but then also lifestyle changes that must occur. Thoracic outlet syndrome, this is where if you're sleeping, you get the pins and needles feeling down your arms all the way into the hands and causes tingling. Right here in the thoracic area, it's the most narrow part of your spine, of where your spinal cord passes. And when there is subluxation in this area, misalignments causing stress here, it's going to impact those nerves that exit and go all the way down your arms and into your fingertips. So there's a physical stress. Now, who are my tossers and turners that are on this webinar? Because if you're tossing and turning throughout the night, is your body smart or stupid? It's smart. And the reason that it's doing this is it's turning to get pressure off of the nerves that's causing the pain and the discomfort. So your body continually tosses and turns to move away from nerve stress. So when that nerve stress accumulates again, it's going to have you moving away from that stress, and it's causing problems. And that's why you're doing that. We can help with it. We've helped many people with this. And if you know anybody that's suffering from this, we love an opportunity to help them. And if you're struggling with this, let's have a further conversation. Restless leg syndrome. Okay, this is where the legs get jumpy. This is if you're sleeping with somebody that has restless leg syndrome, it can be very disruptive to your sleep. So could sleep apnea. Let's face it, if somebody's tossing and turning, this is your spouse or loved one that's with you, and they're tossing and turning, it can have a direct impact on your quality of sleep. But the restless leg syndrome is that the legs keep moving to help calm down the nervous system. And the nervous system becomes stressed because there's subluxation in the lumbar and the sacral area. These are the most common areas where we find subluxation, and we find that during our evaluation. So subluxation is that nerve irritation that interferes with your body's innate ability to heal and remain healthy. Your chiropractic adjustments are the thing that help reduce subluxation. And then our job as doctor, as teacher, is to help educate you what are the things to start doing and what are the things to stop doing, so you're not screwing up the work that we're giving you here in the office, that you can stay healthy and create momentum on the outside. Make sense? So the causes of subluxation, thoughts, traumas, toxins, these bad habits, these poor habits of exercise, the poor habits of eating, the poor habits of artificial light and too much light and things, these bad habits add together. And all this is causing stress in our spine. And when we're staring at these blue screens, the cell phones, the TV, the computer, the laptop, it's causing our head to move forward and making a 10-pound head start to feel like 70 pounds to your spine. So in order to get different health outcomes, we need to correct the cause. This is how my clients get the best results and the best health outcomes. Number one, keep your adjustments in rhythm. Your chiropractic adjustments in rhythm allow myself and Dr. Travis to do our best work to keep you as healthy as possible, reduce subluxation, help your nervous system function optimally, so all the other functions related to sleep and everything else can work properly. Keep your adjustments in rhythm. Skipping or missing appointments can cause significant delays and setbacks in your healing. Healing has a rhythm. Break bad habits. We identified some bad habits here this evening. I want you to take inventory of where you're at. You're not going to eliminate them all. I want you just to reduce. I want you just to get better. I want you to think progress, not perfection. Maybe the bad habit is eating late at night. Maybe you're going to cut that out. Maybe your bad habit is your schedule is all random and you're going to bed and waking up at all these different times. Maybe your bad habit is you only give yourself 4 hours of sleep. Whatever it is, start to close the gap, improve your health, and then add specific exercises to help strengthen the muscles along the spine, to help support your body so that when it comes time to sleep, your body is in an optimal state for that. So can't sleep, step one, get adjusted. Don't let your spine get on your nerves. And step two, sleep well. We turn a battery that felt like this, where you're just getting by, and turn it into fully charged, ready to crush the day, to do the things that you want to be doing and that you love to do and have the energy to do it, and then recover and rest well so that the next day you can get after it again. So I want to share in closing with you a very powerful story of Gus. Gus came to this office. He had not been able to sleep for 4 or 5 days. The pain had gotten so bad. He had to stop hockey, he had to stop his life. Work became unmanageable. It was noticeable by the family at home. He was more irritable, short with them. And let's hear with Gus his inspiring story of how he's gotten better. So I want you to make sure so you can hear this. I got my volume all the way turned up on my computer. Make sure you turn the volume up on your computer so you can hear the important message Gus has to share.
Hi, my name is Gus. I've been going to chiropractors all over the country because I've moved quite a bit in my whole life due to some neck pain and some upper back pain. Came to Dr. Brandon. I think that was immediately that was different about all my other chiropractic visits was number one, he looked at me personalized my plan. So he looked at specifically what was going on with me, my neck, all the why, the how behind it. So I got a lot more targeted questions and targeted diagnosis than I ever had before. I think the other part of it, Dr. B and his whole team followed up on educating me on why these things are happening, what was going on. And I think the best part about that was I was trying to actually get back to playing more hockey with my kids and then an adult league as well. And I wasn't able to turn the way I would like to and look behind me and don't want to be blindsided in hockey. And after just a couple of visits, I got that motion back again. And I certainly was sleeping a whole lot better as well. But I think what is also interesting about my first couple of visits here were during one of the physical examinations, and even though I didn't disclose I had problems with my right knee and my left shoulder before because I had more pain in my neck, just with one physical examination, Dr. Brandon said, hey, it seems like your shoulder's a little out as well, and did an adjustment there, and then actually said, have you ever injured your knee before? I said, actually, I have. I fell. It was quite bad. And he said, yeah, that's a little out of alignment as well. And the funny thing is I came here about my neck and my upper back, but he fixed my right knee and my left shoulder in actually just one adjustment, which was pretty amazing. So really happy about the way the entire staff here is very happy, very authentic, very genuine. So I thank you, Dr. Brandon, and I encourage anybody else that wants to seek some relief, come to the offices here. Thank you.
Such a powerful story. And I know many of you that are on the webinar tonight could share similar stories. And this is why we're here. This is why we're here. We are here to help serve you. We're here to help serve your health and wellness goals. Your goals are our goals. Your priority with your health and wellness, that's our priority. Our job is to help reduce the subluxation in your body, is to teach you how your lifestyle is adding more stress, causing subluxation, and then what to start doing and stop doing to help promote health within, help your adjustments hold longer so that you can achieve high-level health and wellness, your family can achieve high-level health and wellness, so you can do the things that you love to do. You don't have to be working around things and not doing things. You don't have to be living in fear. You can have confidence and certainty that if you give the body what it needs and you're making more deposits in your health and wellness bank account than you're making withdrawals, and you stay in a surplus than a deficit, that you're going to experience health and wellness for years to come. So how do you know if you have subluxation? If you're a client here, we do objective testing. If it's been a while since you've been into our office, I'm going to invite you back. If you're a guest and a loved one here of somebody who is a client, I'm going to invite you to come get checked. How do you know if you have subluxation? You get checked. We have objective criteria that can measure stress that you're under. That is the core score. We have technology to measure how your body is adapting to physical, emotional, chemical stressors. We can take x-rays and we can see the curves in your spine. We can see the degenerative changes. We can see the subluxation patterns, among other things. And then based on our findings and what your goals are, we'll always give our best recommendations. You know, a wise doctor once said, procrastination is the thief of health. Who here that's watching this webinar is procrastinating on something you know you should have been doing days, weeks, months, years ago? So what I'm going to ask you to do, this is a very powerful thing, is I'm going to ask you to stop shoulding on yourself. Stop shoulding on yourself. Let go of the guilt and the shame of not doing what you know you should do. Today is a new day. There's no day like the present. And in fact, this is the only moment you're ever going to have. So stop living in the past, stop living in the future, make some decisions today. Some of the most important decisions you're going to make, or one of the most important decisions you'll make in 2021 is going to happen tonight. You're going to draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough, and this is what I'm committed to. And I want you to drop it in the chat box. What are you committed to? What are you going to start doing? What are you going to stop doing? Let go of the procrastination. You know what it is. If the procrastination is to let go of a healthy habit to start doing, put it in. If it's to stop doing something, put it in. If you know you need to schedule an updated evaluation and get back into the office, put that into the box. If you know that you have a family member that you know that needs to get checked, put that into the box. What is the next step here? Okay, today is the day. This picture, incidentally, was taken over Thanksgiving week back at my mom's in Michigan. And what I love about this picture is the opportunity that I get to share with my family, being healthy, us all being healthy, having fun together, and living life. Life was meant to be lived, and there's no better time than today. What do they say? That yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today's a gift. That's why they call it the present. I'm grateful that you're here on this webinar. I'm inspired by each and every one of you. We're going to continue creating great content for you to teach you how to start doing things, stop doing things, to help improve your overall health and well-being. Thank you for the opportunity to share this with you. Looking ahead to April, just know we're super excited. We got bulletproof your lower back with exercises. So we're going to teach you. This is going to be I would say hands-on, but it's going to be an active webinar next time where I want you to put your sweats on. I want you to get your camera ready. I want you to be ready to work. Because at Bulletproof Your Lower Back, the next one in April, we're going to teach you the best exercises to help you bulletproof your lower back so you can do all those activities that come springtime that you want to be doing leading into summertime, so you can be as healthy as possible, doing the things that you want to do with the people that you love the most. Thank you so much for joining in tonight. Love and appreciate you. And I want to let you know, this is not the end. This is the beginning of this. That over the next 4 weeks on Thursdays at 12:30, I'm going to be hosting 4 30-minute webinars of how to start implementing the things I talked to you about by tracking where you're at and coming up with a more specific action plan to where you need to go. There's worksheets in here and things that I need to share with you to help you get traction on this. And that'll all be done on Thursdays at 12:30. Stay tuned for that. If you are not a member, if you're not a member on our Facebook page where you've liked us and a member of our private Facebook forum, let us know. We'll give you the information how to get you into this private forum so we can take a deeper dive on this information. I'll be sending the replays out over the next couple of days. I love and appreciate you all. We're honored to be your health coach, to be your Sherpa, to be your accountability partner on this journey. You are the hero of this story, and we're just coming along to help you shine. Have a great night. And just remember, for you and your family's health and wellness, we've got your back. We'll see you soon. Thank you.